Hello, I'm back. Had a good brunch with mom and did some stuff, and now I'm uh, back to deal with this Biorama that we began in the first part. Welcome back. Now, I told you in our container, this large container, and if you can see in there, you can see that I've got gravel, about an inch of it in the bottom of it, with a plastic thing. I know the water stays in that, but that's one of the things it'll be okay. You don't ever overwater it anyway, but that's not going to be an issue. There's plenty of space in there for that water to be at. But then I got this piece of ground cover cloth. Nice stuff. It'll keep everything from anything except water to go through, and nothing comes up. And I'm going to line that in the bottom. Now I'm going to do this diorama two different kind of ways. Number one, I'm going to put dirt in here and plant plants in here, but I'm also going to use potted plants that I just set down in here and fill in around them. I've found that works out a real good way of doing this. If any of these one plants dies, you just pull this up and it'll be all right. And you don't have to worry about, you just pull up the dirt part, and this part keeps the rest of the Biorama from collapsing in on it. It's very handy. But you have to make sure you purposely water each of the potted ones, otherwise just general watering. All right, the plants. Now I'm going to go ahead. The Moon Valley Pilea is what I've done is I've taken it out of its container, and there's 4 plants in this little bundle. I'm just going to open it up like this, and we're going to put this in here. Now I've got to go ahead and get some dirt in here, soil, potting mix, whatever. Throw that in there, get a nice place going for it to sit in. And then I'm going to go ahead and fill in behind it. You notice I'm not wearing gloves. Man, get your hands in the dirt. I think we came from the dirt. We're going back to the dirt. We're very intimate with dirt. Don't be scared of it. We'll need some more into my here and push it around here because we want to make sure it has a lot of support on that back side against the thing. We don't want this plant all the way against the back. There wants some room back there, yes. But make sure you get plenty of soil, potty mix. I usually call it potty mix. That's our little secret. And get that all nice and a nice barrier going right there. Because remember, we're going to tell a story in this Biorama. Now, the other one I have is this big one here. And what I'm going to do with it is going to be similar, except I'm going to be able to, you see I can fold it out like this, but it naturally broke into 2 places. I'm going to start this on either side. Now, these things are prolific. With a couple of years, it could take over this poor little thing. So you don't actually need a lot of this, but I do want to plant some, and I'm just going to go ahead and get some big scoops of soil out of the bucket to work with, not kill the other plants. Thank you very much. Just go ahead and pour it in there. At this point, it might be wise to go ahead and, knowing where you're putting the other plants, to go ahead and stack them in there like that, because I want that in the front. Make sure the leaves are pointing in the correct direction. So now we can start filling in the dirt around all this. Still need a little bit, another shovelful. Now then. Now let's come in here. See, here's one that's already in bloom. How nice. We're going to certainly bring her back in here. Very nice, very lovely. Just go ahead and get a nice bundle of this stuff and put it all right there. And then get dirt and fill it in all around it. Oh, look at that. Yeah, there we go. Fill this in with some dirt all around it. Get it going and nice and sturdy. I get the other side same way. I might take that one out because I got a little one here and maybe do something with that. I get this over here on that side. I see I can just pull it around and get where I can get to it. Get another scoop of potty mix. There we go. Now go ahead and start packing it in a little better on this side over here, making sure you get a lot of support for those pilea. Yeah, there we go. It's looking good right there. Now then, let's come on to the front where these bad boys are. Now then, another scoop of this stuff. It's taking a lot of scoop. That's a big container. You want to go ahead and fill it all in. One of the things I like about these things, if a weed gets in there, you know what I do? I leave it there. I let it grow. It's part of the story of telling how this long as this ancient civilization has been abandoned. The weeds are growing in it. So that's one thing I do like about that. And you got to start shoving dirt in those holes right there and pack it down in there, and it'll take a few minutes, so bear with me. You know, on cooking shows, they show you how to put it all together, but they don't show you the baking time when they're sitting around, you know, for an hour until this thing comes out of the oven. They just pop out a new one. That's not this show. We're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way, and you just watch me do it. Around a little bit more. Okay, you can always, now one of the things we're going to have to do is hide this plastic. How are we going to do that? Now there are lots of different ways you can use moss, that green moss that you can buy in crafting stores and stuff, Hobby Lobby and places like that, or just bring that dirt level all the way up to the edge. That's good. You squeeze it on down in there. Now then, see if I can, and then of course you can use decorative things to put over it, and that's what we're also going to do, to hide some of these edges if necessary. I've even used ground cover cloth and just really went all out like that. That's certainly a viable option. I like having options. All right. So basically we got the plants planted except for two. These little bad boys, love them, little ferns. We might want to find some strategic places to place them. I think inside so they get some cover from the light if necessary. So let's get us a little spot there. Cute little pots they are. Of course, $5 I guess they were. Good grief. Everything is expensive today, isn't it? Here's the other one. Sorry the light is kind of weird. It's already the afternoon since when I started this morning. All right. Ooh, look at there, a piece of whatever. We'll keep that. Who knows? We might decorate with it. Now then, finish if you need to. Really getting a little bit more soil in these places to get some support on these plants. You don't want them after they water to loosen up and flop over, and you still have to do this. Just go ahead and get some essence done early. Anticipate it. Now then. Now comes the storytelling. Remember, this was going to be a centerpiece of my storytelling. So do I put it like something like this, or would I bring it more on side and have it length coming down? And I think that's the change I'm going to do, because before I had this end in the dirt and it was coming down from here. I think we're going to go for height now, and I'm going to find where that junction of the two of those pots are, and I'm just going to kind of shove it down off in there, maybe, because we're also going to pile some stuff around the base of that and around here, some of these rocks and things. It'll hide all of this, and it'll make it easier to water because it'll hit them rocks first instead of the soil. And if you hit pour that water directly on the soil, it's going to move it around and stuff. But you go ahead and barricade it with some of these rocks and things. You'll be just fine. Now then, remember, this is this little chain is with this little, it was a pull chain off of something. I don't have a clue what, but this was in my storyline, the ancient ways of Mordor. This was actually a power source way back from the ancient of ancient times. And then let's see if we can. It's probably not going to hurt at all to have. You can see that one half of it is dirty and it's rusty and stuff, and there's no way I'm going to clean this. And so I have to incorporate that in the story or remove it all together. And that's quite a possibility. But it could be that that's where the short happened, that destroyed their civilization. So we're going to just leave it alone and do that. Now then, part of the story was that they're superstitious people that came after the people that had the technology that did this. As generations come and go, if there's not a concerted effort to pass on the knowledge is forgotten. And that's the case here. The subsequent generations did not know how to deal with the power source. So they came up with an idea. Maybe perhaps they need to offer a sacrifice to the power god. And so here's a little thing right there. And then let's see if I can find me a nice little impaling stake somewhere in here. Any of these sticks will do fine. I can take care of that. So how tall we're going to need it. What we're going to do is just stuff it down in here, and so get an idea of where it needs to be. And I'm going to do it about right here and shove it through that little hole down through the bottom here. Now then, right under that power source. Now what I've got this, and I don't know what I've done with it, but this little small mouse skull, an owl had eaten, and then the way the owl's stomach works, it just digests everything it can, then wraps everything up in this fur ball from the mouse, and then throws it up. And the owls were throwing this up outside my bedroom window. Okay, I was able to get some, dry them out, and get these little skulls. And I'm going to get one and impale it on that stick, and I'll show you that in maybe part 3 if there is one. I was just explaining what I'm going to do. And now we start decorating with rocks. Now I'm going to use this very old box iron that's rusted and broken down, and to help me tell the story of this, where this chain is. So we're going to make some kind of structure that could be some kind of weird power plant that's being using for this and then no. Sorry, power plant. go. And we just remember, I tell stories with this. So you got to understand, I've got hidden meanings in here that people aren't going to understand. So I'm going to keep some of this secret for people to see and to figure out for themselves. Now I need to make this so that it looks like it broke there, and that's a good thing right there. So we're going to let's see what we're going to. No, I tell you what, we're just going to use the one, and maybe just the one. Okay, now we need some nice things in here. This is a nice, pretty smooth white rock. Let's just go ahead and start kind of casting them around. What else can we put in here? There's a nice bigger rock. Let's put that in here over here. And scrub it open. Oh, scrub it up a dub. Now one time they realized that the tower was going to fall over, so they had to prop it up some, and they started shoring it up with these pretty smooth stones. But they couldn't move that big one, so they just had to work around that. And so we're back to actually, I think I can use this piece. I'm going to stack it like right here. It's looking like that stick was coming through there, that chain coming out of that. Or not. I think not. Let's just let it go and let it kind of drape over the top like that, and we'll just have to tell the story. And get that propped up. We need some more rocks, I think. Pretty things. There's another nice gray things. Let's just start filling those places in. And actually, we got a whole bunch of particular rocks. Let's just make it all look pretty with a whole pile of these same color ones. Because I do like the idea of covering up a lot of that dirt to help me water and things. There we go. Now what else can we put in here? Sure. I've got some bones, real fossilized bones from, a bazillion years ago or whatever. They can go in here as well as a testimony to the sacrifices. Right there, that'll be good. Here's another one. Let's get that in there. All right, here's another rock there too. Another bone, bone in there. Let's throw some more rocks down in here to cover this whole section up, and that's good. We'll just keep on adding it right there. Now then, I think we'll take this rock and prop this thing up. That always works. It does. Now let's surround it with a couple more, and a nice square one right there. And let's just let that be love. What else we want? What else we got? Got that right there. We're not. Let's go ahead and use a little bit more of this over here on this side, all around. That'll be a nice. There we go. A few more over here. Remember, you can always change. You can always change and take them out, add, whatever, you know, evolution, all that good garbage. All right, so basically I've got it done here. And here we go. Now, if you can, this is it. If I can give you a good, nice look at what's going on there. And see, you can tell there's some artifacts in here that's helping tell a story in the past. How about that? So this is the Bose Biorama that he made here on February 23rd, I believe it is. Yes, it is. And it's about 2:30 or thereabouts in the afternoon, and it's hot as blazes in this here greenhouse. I'm gonna turn the fan on. So y'all have a wonderful afternoon, and see you next time in Bo's greenhouse.